The biggest lie you could hear is that life is fair. The thing you're all equal and that each of you will achieve whatever you want. You are told this by your parents. You hear it when watching different movies and from the society that surrounds you every day. I'm telling you right away, this video is not for the faint of heart, and not because there's going to be some screamers and scary stories. And the thing that's much scarier than that, of all things, is the truth about 5. I've been through a lot of different difficult situations in my life, and I've found myself in them for the most part just because I denied the very realities of our lives, which is what we're going to talk about in this video. And the first thing you need to accept is the fact that nobody cares about you personally and just doesn't give a shit. Yes, it sounds depressing, and the thought, no one you. But ask yourself the question, why should they care about you? Most likely, you are no longer a child to write off all your mistakes on the fact that you are still small and stupid. You're already building relationships with girls that way. Why someone must care about you because you're a nice guy? But that's the dumbest thing you could say, because if it worked that way, I guarantee you, 99% of people your age would be as nice as possible. It would be a society of some forgiving monks, and you need to realize, if you're not of any value to other people, then you're just useless to them. They don't give a shit about you. Mom and dad love you by default. Your friends at school are friends with you, but they don't really have a choice. And with whom else to be friends with you day in and day out for 11 years closes with them in the same room. But the point is that you need to be useful. This applies to school, to university, to your first job, to your relationship with your girlfriend, and with your friends. In fact, it's related to any social phenomenon. You need to change your value, at least the plus value, so that people are onto you, not poker. And I wish it all worked differently. But again, who gives a shit what I want there? The second truth you just need to accept is that life is easier for some people than it is for you. And those some people are women and rich people. You can reason all you want. You can ponder the meaning of life and your weight, your life experience. And then you can go to a Buddhist monastery and there you will be fulfilled for hundreds of thousands of years to come. But I think that in 18 those 30 years it is a little bit difficult to do this, so the dough decides. And if your parents are businessmen or some highly paid specialists or politicians, your life will be much easier. Some people get a car for 18 years, and some people get a pack of underpants and a knuckly, and they can afford better education, medicine and everything else. Food, entertainment, sports, leisure. It's all on a different level altogether. Well, it sounds pretty cool, but most people do not live such a life, and it certainly does not mean that if parents are rich, then such a person will live a happier life. But, as a rule, there are problems and difficulties. Everyone just sounds very different. Well, everything is clear here, but why is it easier for girls to pass this game? And I'm not going to talk about the fact that they can just marry a rich guy and live happily ever after, although that's so dumb. I'm not going to talk about something right now, and I'm talking about it anyway. Why people do that. But I have an ironclad argument. I will remember an episode in my high school when a girl in our class didn't learn a verse, and what do you think? She got a D. No. She learned the first of 6 lines before class, and when she told it after the 6th line, she just cried. And it's not some Shakespearean poetry, it's just school verse. And the funny thing is, it worked. At the end of class, she got a 12 for the poem. And I'm sure everyone realized that she just didn't learn it, both the students and the teacher. But against skill, a woman's tears simply have no reception. And girls with each year honed this skill more skillfully than samurai, honed the mastery of katana in their time. And if the swing of the katana deprived you of XP quickly and lightning, then here is a woman's crying does it slowly and gradually make you feel all the decay of existence and your helplessness. This is destruction in 3 planes: physical, moral, and psychological. Sometimes it's just as hard for women as it is for men, and sometimes it's even harder. I've noticed that it's become fashionable on the internet to say that men have it harder than girls. I even have some videos that touch on this topic, and I think it's kind of a reaction to all the new trendy movements of modern radical feminism in TikTok and on YouTube, where girls are looking for 101 reasons why the world should revolve around them. They somehow combine in their demands to this world the equality of pay, the possibility to visit a man for one crooked word, and the possibility not to shave their legs and armpits. And the funny thing is that they have had all these possibilities for a long time, but it's not so bad. Though it seems that the world has gone crazy, but most people understand everything perfectly well and are engaged in more important things than to sit in temtic tokas and argue about the fact that girls are forbidden to work in mines or divers. After all, if feministas want to be divers, they will immediately enter their feminative, and they will become divers. And of course, they will never go to such work, because it is simply contraindicated for them due to some physical differences. Real life is very scary, but you have to accept that. You're going to have to work long and hard. So what makes you think that it's you who will be given some kind of opportunity to go to a cool position or open your own business from scratch, while everyone else is working long hours to get closer to their goals in life? If you're sitting at home, thinking you're alone, fools start with some low-paying jobs. While you develop a plan on which you will immediately come from the trumps, then the fool hear only you, because life does not work like that, and those who realized it before others on eventually begin to work and overcome difficulties, somewhat earning some huge capital on their first jobs, as much as gaining that most invaluable experience. You should immediately put yourself in front of the fact that this is temporary, and you do not need to stay in this job for years. During this time, you'll just be figuring out how you're going to move on to what you really want to do, and as your experience grows, you'll see things clearer and clearer. The very path that will bring you to your goal. But most people don't want to accept these rules of the game. They look for any way to bypass the system and come right in with trumps. But in this case, only the system bypasses such people and leaves them with nothing, and no four will not help. Well, a person has no startup capital. He does not want to work from 9 to 5. Which he's doing the right thing. He goes to the internet and Goblet, how to earn online without leaving home. And there went in Fotsigan and Guru promotion million schemes to earn crypto. Betting on sports, according to predictions in a closed group telegram with the name Dumpet Kontraktniki. Nanny know well. This is real life. Stale Kontraktniki in it really someone believes. And there's a new trend of making money with peace intelligence. But then people realizing that they spent all their last money and time on it. But they got nothing in return but the realization of being a sucker. Then people lower the bar of expectation a bit and look for a more real job online, again somewhere that doesn't require experience. Here I tried in uni to work as a RRYT copywriter, like rewriting text. In other words, to get unique text. Oh, I thought I'd make some money there. But in the end, having fulfilled 3 orders, I realized that this is a dead issue, and it is not without reason. After all, if you think about it, all this crap to find a quick Chitelskogo way to earn money without experience, and preferably at home remotely, just cannot work. What is the funny thing is that most people realize all this, but only a small fraction of people do what they need to do. And 5 truths about you and me. Life. You just need to accept as fact that one day you will be gone, and no one will give a shit. The world will go on living as it did before you, and people try not to think about that, because it sounds very depressing. After all, everyone thinks they are somehow special, always worrying about what others will think of him. He goes to the gym, he goes to work, buys cars, posts photos in Instagram, where he is vacationing on the islands, collecting likes. But one day it all stops, and I do not think that this should drive you into some apathy, but on the contrary, it should motivate you, because in fact you do not need to be embarrassed or afraid. After all, in the end, the outcome is the same, and to see your life in such a way that you do not regret anything, Start acting now. I have faith in you. Thank you all.